welcome to NR2003 TV. Today we are racing at New Hampshire here in the SMOS. Now I know I was saying during the Cup race at Portland about a week ago, more or less, about half a week ago I guess it would be at this point, that the races usually will be longer since I wouldn't be uploading as consistently, but this time I kind of pressed the envelope on myself, tried to get this out a little sooner. And with that, I also made the race a bit shorter, 31 laps for this SMOS event. Not too egregious, just simple and nice, I think. Starting on pole is your Daytona winner, Craig Packers. Start next to him is Genghis Khan. Third place starting is Cactus King. Fourth place starting is the 30 of Cooper. Then behind that, Eric Monaco starts P5. And number 40 Ally Chevrolet. So, again, 30 laps, 31 laps, not really a whole lot to be expected. Hopefully they don't wreck a bunch. If they do, no biggie. Well, might be a biggie, but regardless, we'll manage. I think we'll put this race on the CCS YouTube channel. Still debating whether I'm going to do that for full next season, but at this point, I'm going to put this race on the CCS YouTube channel, potentially the next Cup race as well. I want to get more tailored content on my main channel, see if that becomes a thing or not. Points leader, Sam Oskin still, he's got 28 points over Brock Nelson. David Don, third in points, 29 back. 30 back in P4 in points is Marco Leonard. 33 back, fifth in points is 32 EXO. They're starting in interesting positions. If we see them during the race, we'll take a look at them. As about to take the command here in a few minutes, and I know we didn't have really a lot to cover, especially just me being in the booth for this one. So, alright, that's really all there is for the initial intro. We're gonna get these engines fired up and hopefully have a nice, clean race.
Drivers, start your engines!
Engines have been fired, or the command's been given. Engines have been fired. I think the exhaust is on the right side of the car, since why we didn't see it there. It's kind of when we would. I think it's really a cool effect they added to this game when it first initially came out, but regardless, we will roll with what we got. Again, 31 laps, hopefully nothing too egregious. Second fall starts per usual. Craig Packers is going to lead us to the green here at New Hampshire. Manufacturer teammate behind him, Cactus King in the 08. Cactus King returned to the server per se. So he's a bit of a delay in points, so we'll see how that goes. We did lose a driver, by the way. It was Angie. Ended up leaving the server, so number 24 is not in the field anymore. Genghis Khan's going to try to get the run on the top, but Craig ultimately gets the run on exit and looks to probably run away with it at this point. Granted, if any of the past seasons have been a trend. This race last season was Ian Stiles' first win. And the 45 Powerade machine. Currently 17th, for his standards, not too shabby based on how consistent he's been. Won his first Cup race this last week at Portland, so despite not having a whole lot of success in SMOS so far this season, does have a Cup win under their belt. So hopefully that will follow here into SMOS in some way, shape, or form. Eventually, I think this field will eventually just get filtered out, but Craig, he's going to try to get win number 2. We've seen Sam Oskin, he also has 2 wins, so if Craig gets her done, Craig will be the second driver to have 2 wins this season. Again, always looking for that next car that's going to be dominant. Always talking about those K&K cars who have been very consistent in terms of qualifying this season, but have no finishes to show for it. So far, Cooper's already lost a couple spots since the beginning of the race. Now, Genghis Khan has also lost a few spots, as our bottom lane has shown to be very dominant. Eric Monaco started P5. He's already gained P spots or 2 spots to be inside the podium right now. That 48 car, and 48 does have a win this season, so all doom and gloom there. And the Kexican does not have a win this season, and not to mention he is at a very big points deficit right now. Well, fairly big. 226 back from the leader for that 08 car. Again, missed decent portion of this season so far. He could rebound, but I don't think title contention is in the books. Granted, not to say he couldn't do it, but to say it's very unlikely that he'll do it. We're talking about Monaco. Brandon Nelson came down from the Cup Series last season. We've been talking about him a little bit here and there. Just trying to get some experience here in SMOS. His Cup Series runs weren't exactly great, despite making the round of 4 last season. Ultimately decided he's going to rejoin. He's going to join with Trackhouse, former driver of his, and go down to the lower series. And so far, he's had a rough year, let's put it the least. But running 4th right now, not a bad run. 2 of the Trackhouse cars in the top 5, which is not a bad day in the banking for those 2. Had that Genghis Khan, who started 2nd. He's down to P5, still running. Has had a pretty lackluster few races this season. His DNFs have been quite a few for his standards, anyway. So not a great season for him so far. He's going to try to get a turnaround here, and Cooper right behind him with the same goal in mind. Same situations, have had speed and consistency, just no finishing to show for it. Alex Tanker, he's been rolling around the dice and trying to get a top 10 in. And Exo, man, almost got top 10 last week. I still believe, yep, they have the most top 10s this season. And if this trend continues, they could be getting their 7th top 10. As they came just shy last week after, or not last week, but last race after being a little lackluster. And we talk about our points leader, Sam Oski. He's actually gained quite a few spots. Started like 15th, is already up to 9th. Pretty quickly in this race, so he could easily get in the top 10. And then Noah Clifton, number 1, could potentially get him a top 10. We're on P10 right now, not all bad. His head, he's pretty inconsistent, to be honest, but take your wins where you can. He's actually been showing some speed here and there this season so far, so we'll see what he can do with it. Skylar Taylor, another one of the rookies, going to win at Las Vegas. Hasn't done a whole lot since, but they're trying to keep some consistency going. May try to steal a top 10 here. Thing goes the way they want it to. Quadruped, trying to get another good runner going. They had a good run last week, despite not looking like they were going to have a good run last week. Last week was, I keep saying last race. Probably one of the worst races I've seen in a hot minute, but oh well, take wins where you can. They're trying to get a good finish here and hopefully get somewhere in standings. After dropping back from the Cup Series, they didn't have much results there either. P13, Brock Nelson came into this race 2nd in the standings, 28 points back from the leader. That could grow as he's got about 4 cars in between him and that leader. Could potentially go to 32 points if he stays in 2nd. I do expect it to do so, by the way. Keaton Williams has had some decent consistency despite not having a sponsor on the car. Well, not much else to say there, but he's got a decent consistency. Jeremy Fraze had been surprisingly consistent compared to last season. Isaac Jacobs, in his first few races, hasn't had any luck. Trying to finish his first race, I think. He has nothing to show but DNFs, and trying to get at least a finish in the top 20 wouldn't be too shabby, but always shoot for more if you can. Alex and Vidiel, another one of the rookies, is trying to get their footing in, see how they do the rest of the season. Had some decent runs. Zigzagoon with a win at Phoenix. Hasn't as consistent as he was last season, however, he's still in it. Still in the fight. We just talked about Ian Styles, and then we got Marco Leonard. He's 4th in points. That's far back. Granted, if he finishes here, he'll probably be further back. Oh well. Had some really decent consistency this season. I think he got 2 wins last year, so definitely not a bad driver to root for with Marco Leonard. Then we got Melinda Jones, another one of our OGs, if you would, trying to get something going. Hasn't really had a good season though. Maybe they can get a turnaround or something, but right now it's not really mid positions to say the least. Riley Gorse is, well, been Riley Gorse. Don't really know what else to say there. Wilmot has been pretty good overall in terms of being a rookie. They're currently 11th in standings. Granted, they are 4th in Rookie of the Year, but you know what? All things considered, I think they're having an alright season. Just need to get some of the I need to just I don't really know what else to say. They've just kind of been put in some bad situations, and really all there is to it. Almost got a win at Phoenix, but late in the running, Zigzagoon beat them for that. So I think they may get their first win this season, based on consistency. And again, Trackhouse, they've kind of shown to be a powerhouse team at the moment. So we'll see if that rings true for the rest of the season. That is the pace car. Jeff Squid, yeah, has had a terrible season. Worse than his cup season. All needs to be studied. Maybe it's just a new team or what, I don't know. But hopefully they get something better going. And Mr. Payson Avery did a barrel roll last race at Martinsville. He is back in, not faring as well as his teammate David right now, but they're still running. Well, actually, right now he's running higher than David. David's actually third in standings. Not running too great though for David, but or Payson. Agile Dreamer, just I mean, granted, this for them I think is about usual pace, but you know they've had some decent speed again. Nothing to show for it. Same with this 22 car. They've had a lot of speed, nothing to show for it. Sadly, K&K specifically has had no luck this season. I think this race they just don't have any pace. Same with David, who's man, he's had a pretty up and down season, but he's kept it up there enough to keep himself in the title fight for right now. Max Kozart, he's running a little subpar right now for his standards. Just probably an off day. Tatum Boy, he's been battling with Thunder 24 fan here quite a bit there for 30th, and that's really where he's been running all season. But he's had speed as well. But for the most part, he's just kind of been running back here. Thunder 24 fan, he's been very inconsistent, and that's really all there is to say about him. He's made the round of 4, I believe, twice though, if I am not mistaken. Tufty Terror, I think. They had some decent runs last week, or not last week, last race. I'm not really not much else to say. They've been running. Tottenham things, having the best season in their career. So, well, second season's much better than last season, I think, so far. Ryan Cole, he's had a decent up and down season. I think the move over to this team has so far been a mild improvement. Mellowed out for sure. They've had more dominance. I think Retro E Racing was a bit quicker than McClure Motorsports when it was still in here, so see what they can do with that. Jet 07 won at Talladega. He's been just trying to get some consistency going. Really ever see about that. Kylie Shistray, another Trackhouse car, probably one of the weaker links on that team, and supposedly so. They're not running too well either. But we'll see if they're able to turn it around before this thing's over. Matthew Hill, he's actually had a really decent season so far, just not having any speed today. Mr. Brian Webb just won his first race last week, and well, he's running where he usually runs now. That's unfortunate. Brendan Gonzalez, uncharacteristically off pace. Not really much else to say there. And then Wick Rare Racing. It's no speed today in that 29 car for Nimrod. Doesn't look like running last right now. But we'll see what happens. I doubt we'll see any yellows based on the way they're running. I doubt we've seen any passes. I bet the same guy who started up front is still leading this thing. Yep, and it's gonna be probably gonna be one of those like really boring races you can't pass. Sadly enough, I tried making it where you could, but they were wrecking too much, and that's just a track thing. Tried using a different version of a track as well, and didn't really fix it. So that's unfortunately just how New Hampshire is. I think with whatever versions I have, unless there's something better out there that's directly recommended, but really no position changes whatsoever. And this race was really just track position so far. But yeah, Craig Pockris, if he can lead these last few laps, granted he's already locked in most laps led and the pole. 2 10-point bonuses right there on the table. To be his second multi-winner of the season. Granted, in a fashion, dominant of a race, it's a bit, you can't pass, but oh well. I say you can't pass, but we've seen some passes on that initial start. Some cars made up quite a few positions, some didn't. We're seeing different lines being taken as well, but nonetheless, still, it's just not great quality. You go 1 week, it's probably one of the most chaotic races of the season. This one probably one of the most boring. So I guess it'll probably mellow out, even out the ways of the game or whatever. As this thing is closing down pretty quick here. Out of curiosity, I check the fastest lap. Looks like it is Brandon Nelson there in 4th. Or no, he's not in 4th anymore. He's in 3rd. Okay, somewhere around here. He got around his teammate of Eric Monaco. Interesting. Not sure where that happened, but somewhere that did. I think Brandon probably got a faster car. Again, just bad setup. Can't really pass. But Rotary Racing's Craig Pockris coming to 2 to go here this time by here at New Hampshire. He's led it all so far. I'm glad I chose a shorter race because a longer race would have been, oh my goodness, a snooze fest. It's already a snooze fest as is. Let's tone the snooze fest down as much as we can. Keep an eye on our top 10 right now, see if anything's changed. So far, nothing much. We're going to come to the white flag this time by. And Craig Pockris, the number 46, is going to win here at New Hampshire. Well, that was, I don't know if you want to call that a race, but it was something. Better than nothing of that. Wait, hold on. Did I make a goof? Did they not actually finish the race yet? No, they didn't finish the race yet, but nothing changed anyway. I thought they had finished already. I seen the white. I thought, wait, is that flag white or is it checkered? I don't know. This one I blame on because I'm a little sleepy. I did this in 2021. I believe it was at the Kansas Super Speedway back when we did that track. That was a bit more of a Jim doozy because I think there was a last lap thing there. But here I was tired. I did this late, so oh well. Thanks for watching. This is the Cars on Cup Series YouTube channel, so if you want, you can like, subscribe. Not really going to press you to do it unless now if you haven't, subscribe to the 203 feed channel because that's where I put all my good stuff.